Hey everybody, Mark Bowe with Bowland Outdoors. We only got, it's the 23rd, we got a week before season opens here in October, and I promised everybody one more lesson on string walking where you guys get to see me choosing the gap from behind my eyeball, from where my eye looks. What does the sight picture look like? So we're gonna go over that, shooting only on the 20-meter bag. That's good enough to show you what that gap looks like, and then maybe I'll shoot over there at the 30-meter target as well. It's a little bit at a wrong angle, but we're going to go through what it actually looks like. I'm going to try to line up and show you guys that from through the camera. So here goes. The hard part about trying to show you what the sight picture looks like is I've got to be at full draw to do it. That's the hard part. But what it looks like is this. Remember the five-step Voigtland shooting method is: step one, you choose your gap between the nocking point of the arrow and the drawing point of your index finger. That gap determines the elevation of the rear of the arrow, determines the elevation of the front of the arrow, determines the range with a very high degree of precision. That you can measure that gap in terms of, fingers, half fingers, quarter fingers, and even eighth of a finger, and if you need to, even a 16th of a finger. And when you add all of that up, when you can get down to 1/16th of a finger, a half of a finger gives you plus or minus 10 meters, quarter of a finger plus or minus 5 meters, eighth of a finger plus or minus 2.5 meters, 16th of a finger, very doable, guys. It's a little bit, but it's a very doable number, plus or minus a meter in terms of range, more than you'll ever need. In fact, when you're shooting at a target like this, plus or minus 2 meters is plenty. That's a half, a quarter, an eighth of a finger, and you're plus or minus 2 meters. You're not going to miss the deer. If you ranged your shot, if you picked an altitude that was off this way by 2.5 meters, the distance, you're only going to change the trajectory of the arrow, the elevation where it lands on the deer, by a half an inch. You're going to get the deer. So just go down to an eighth of a finger. Shooting at this target, we're going to aim for the black, the center black dot. Step one of the Voigtland shooting method, choose your gap. For me, 20 meters, we start by choosing our 20-meter gap, which is take the edge of my thumbnail right here. Just the edge, this part. That. I'm going to measure down 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 fingers precisely. Then I'm going to slide my fingers down right there. So the very top of my index finger is right where my thumbnail is. And when I start pulling, that's where the angle is going to be, the vertex of the bowstring. Then step 2, look down the left side of the string. Step 3, see what that looks like. Step 2, anchor under your chin. Well, the mosquitoes are horrible today. Step 3, look down the left side of the string. Step 4, put the tip of the arrow right smack on the target. And this is actually what your sight picture is going to look like. Like that. Step 5, make as small a motion, a release as you possibly can. So let's shoot 6 arrows and see what that looks like. Step 1, choose your gap. 20 meters to start, and it's a 20-meter target. So there I am, done. Step 2, draw back under your chin. Step 3, look down the left edge of the string. It's going to look like this. Left edge of the string with this eye, left edge of the string. 4, put the tip of the arrow right smack on the target. So this is what it looks like. Step 5, small motion release. Let's do a couple. Step 1, choose your gap. 3 fingers for 20 meters. No other compensations needed. It's a 20-meter target. Step 2, draw back under your chin. Step 3, look down the left side of the string. 4, tip of the arrow right smack on that black dot. 5, small motion release. I'm like 1 inch high. Fine. Remember how hard it is to talk and shoot. Let's do a couple more. Step 1, choose your gap. 1, 2, 3 fingers with the thumbnail. Put the finger, the index, the top of the index finger right there. That's where the angle is going to be then. Right there at the top of the finger. 2, draw back onto your chin. 3, look down the left edge of the string. 4, tip of the arrow on the target. 5, small motion release. A little high. I'm not going to worry about it because I'm talking. Let's see. Step 1. Choose your gap. 1, 2, 3 fingers down with the nail of the thumbnail right there, marking that spot right in between the lines, right in between the wraps of my serving. Put the top of my finger there so that becomes the index, that becomes the vertex rather, of where the draw is. Then this is what goes under my chin right there hard. Step 2, draw back under your chin. Step 3, look down the left edge of that string. 4, tip of the arrow right smack on the black. 5, small motion release. Got 4 shots, 3 shots, all within a pie plate. Let's keep doing it. That deer's going down on every one of those shots, you guys. That's hitting lungs, and that's hitting at least the lungs and the heart, or both of them together. Step 1, choose your gap. 3 fingers. Step 2, draw back under the chin. Step 3, look down the left side of the string. 4, tip of the arrow right on the black. 5, small motion release, and we're still inside a pie plate. 2 more shots. Step 1, choose your gap. 1, 2, 3 fingers with the thumb. Not with the fleshy part, with the nail of your thumb. Slide it down. This has to be precise, guys. Like you said, you know, even being off by an eighth of a finger is going to change the distance by 2.5 meters. Step 2, draw back under the chin. Step 3, look down the left side of the string. 4, tip of the arrow on the target. Step 5, small motion release. Still staying inside that pie plate. Shooting with confidence. No doubt about whether or not it's going to go there. Last one. Step 1, choose your gap. 1, 2, 3 fingers for 20 meters. The nail of the thumb goes right in there. Grab the top of the index finger right there at that nail. Step 2, draw back under your chin. Step 3, look down the left side of the string. Put 4, put the tip of the arrow right smack on the black dot. Step 5, small motion release. Jerked a little because I was talking. Let's go take a look at these arrows. Oh, I know why I shot a little high, because I wasn't standing right there in the dirt where it is 20 meters. I was standing right here on the grass to get away from the camera. So I was literally a meter closer, shooting at 19 meters, and that means I went up a couple inches. I have no intention of changing my gap. Well, let's take a peek. There's 20 yards. So here's 20 yards. 1, 2 puts me at 22 yards or 20 meters. And I got a perfectly decent grouping. That one stray one doesn't count, but these 5 arrows all sitting inside there. Guys, here, let's talk. Let's talk how big a deer's heart is. A deer's heart looks like this, and the deer's lungs are each like this. They're big lobes inside that chest cavity. The deer's chest is every bit as big as mine. So if those 5 arrows all fit like this inside my chest and are going to catch my heart and my lungs, I promise you they're going to catch the deer's. All you have to be able to do is get one lung, get one part of the heart. Even the back, the entrails here, you catch the back lobe of the lung or you catch the liver. Okay, you might have to track the deer a little bit, but if you just shut up and leave the deer alone, don't immediately jump down off out of your stand. Don't hoop, don't holler, don't nothing. Just close your eyes and point your finger in the direction where you hear the noise. That's what you do. You point, 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 and you're as quiet as possible. You point in the direction where the deer is, and you wait until you don't hear any more noise. You wait, you wait, you wait, you wait, you wait. Let's say it's right over there. You wait, you wait, you wait, you wait a good 5 minutes till you can't hear a thing, and then wait another 5 minutes. And then you open your eyes up and you point at the tallest thing that you can see behind your finger. For me, it's that tree. And you memorize what that tree looks like. Because when you climb down 15 feet out of your stand and you look around again, whatever you were pointing at on the ground is gone. You're not going to find it. The only thing you're going to find is the landmark. That's the highest landmark you can find, what you pointed at. And now you start walking there. That's the direction that you're going to walk. If you know where you shot the arrow, you can go over there first, go where you think the arrow landed, and you can go in a rough area. You're going to go around in a spiral that gets bigger, bigger, until you pick up a blood trail. Then you're going to take a big step outward and make another circle, and you're going to pick up the next drop of blood. And those two pieces of blood, those two drops, should be about a step apart from each other, and they should be pointing at that landmark that you just spotted. If you get that far, that the drops of blood, you find the drops of blood, they line up towards that landmark, you got a pretty good idea that's where the deer is. And now you sit still for another 10 minutes. Just sit there. Because what's going to happen is this. That deer just knows it's in an incredible amount of pain. That's all that it knows. It doesn't know there's a hunter, and it doesn't know it's been shot. It has never been shot in its life. If it was shot, it'd be dead. So this is a new experience for it, to feel this incredible kind of pain. It's like if it broke its own leg. So it's going to bolt and go running out of sheer panic. But if it doesn't hear anything chasing it, it's not going to be very long before it finally looks and says, I think I'll just rest it for a second. So he's going to slow down really quick. When he hears that there's nothing chasing him, he's going to slow down really fast, like 10, 20 paces. That's it. That's like 60 yards at most that he's going to actually wander. And then he's going to pause, and if he can't breathe because you punctured one of his lungs or both, he's going to just lay down and say, okay, let me just take a rest here. And then he's never going to get up. So just let him have that moment. You don't need to chase him and hound him and make him try to run beyond his limits. You're making your job unnecessary. Give him 20 minutes if it needs that. So when you come up to him, following that blood trail and looking at that landmark up there as your guide, that one tall tree that you saw, you're going to eventually start following that trail, and you're going to see more and more and more blood. And then you're going to see the backside of a deer, and he's going to be laying on his side, and all you're going to do is shut the hell up. No hooping, no hollering, no nothing. You just killed something. Where the fuck is the hooping and hollering about? This is a solemn thing. You're going to go over there and you're going to have another arrow knocked inside your bow. Don't be stupid. You don't know, but you're going to make a circle all the way around the deer, trying to decide whether or not he's dead. You'll be able to tell by looking at his eyes. If he's dead, he's going to be dead with his eyes open like this and not breathing, and his eyes are going to be dried up after 10 or 15 minutes. So you're going to know he's dead. Then you can commence the field dressing him and everything else. But the whole point is that kind of a spread is plenty to take the deer down. That's what you need. All right, that's a Voigtland shooting method seen from behind the bow. You got a chance to see it. You also got a chance to see it from in front of the bow, what it actually looks like when the tip of the arrow is right smack on the target. Plus you got to see how we measure that gap using our thumbnail and our fingers. And you got to see how a whole finger represents 20 meters. A whole finger can represent a 20-meter change in distance. A half a finger can be 10 meters. A quarter finger can be 5. An eighth of a finger can be 2.5 meters. And you saw it in action. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you out there. We're going to go shoot one more round. I just adjusted the target and put it actually at 20 meters instead of at what looked like 19 or 18 and a half. So I can still shoot in the same spot here, but now it'll be an accurate distance. Let's go see if that changes. You notice that even though I was aiming at a 20-meter mark, and it turned out to be only about 18 and a half, I shot this high. I was off by a couple of inches. That still would have brought the deer down. That's the point I'm trying to make. Let's get set up here. Oops. Got to get behind the line again. Here it goes. Step 1, choose your gap. 20 meters, 3 fingers for me. 1, 2, 3. Most of the time I don't even have to see. I just measure. I can feel with my finger. There's the gap between the first two, the second two, the third two. There's my thumb. There's my 3-finger gap. How easy is that? You can keep your eyes on the deer with this method and do all the measuring that you need. Step 1, choose your gap. Step 2, draw back under your chin. Step 3, look down the left side of the string. Step 4, put the tip of the arrow right smack on the black. Step 5, small motion release. Ay, ay, ay. Chad, I'm not staying. Mosquitoes are bad, dude. We're going to have to start wearing actual clothes. I'm not kidding. The mosquitoes are out in force. All right, 5 more to go. Step 1, choose your gap. Come on over and get on the camera. I'll make you famous. Step 1, choose your gap. Step 2, draw back under your chin. Looks like this. Step 3, look down the left edge of the string with your right eye. Step 4, put the tip of the arrow right smack on the black. Step 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Small motion release. Let's be really quiet and see how I do. Now you see it go right in. All I have to do is stop talking. Ugh, God. Let's do 3 more. 1, 2. It's useful to not talk when you're shooting. 1. I got no excuse for that one. I wasn't talking. It's just jittery. I blame 7-Eleven Brazilian coffee. Last one. Choose your gap. Let's go take a look. We can talk now. I'm done shooting. Still filming? Yeah. All right, this time we're at a corrected 20 meters. That's 20 yards. And if we measure from 20 yards down, where my feet are, measure over 1, 2, now I'm properly at the bag face. And there's a perfectly nice grouping. A couple of strays, but guys, you're in the woods. Believe me, you got a lot of other things to worry about besides whether or not your groupings fit inside a cup or fit inside the saucer. Believe me, you got a lot of other things to worry about. Your heart's pounding, it's cold, you haven't pulled back on that bowstring in 6 hours. You can't feel your butt anymore, you can't feel your toes anymore, like that. Stuff like that. This is the least of your worry with this method. There, that's it. See you out there.